Let's be real. Being ignored hurts more than stepping on a Lego in the dark. Have you ever opened your heart, shared something that actually matters to you, and all you got in return was a polite smile and a distant gaze that screamed, "I'd rather be anywhere else right now"? Oh, yes, that very specific kind of invisibility. Not because you said something wrong, but because, for some reason, they just weren't there with you. Their body was in the room, but their mind had clearly taken a vacation. And you're left holding your own story like, cool, I guess I'll go talk to my houseplant now. Here's the kicker. It's not just you. It's all of us. And more importantly, it's not entirely your fault. The problem isn't always what we say. It's how we say it and how we show up. I used to overthink every single word coming out of my mouth. I was like my own personal PR manager. I'd shrink in conversations, run a full internal spell check, and try to sound smarter, cooler, more relevant, like I was on some invisible job interview for most likely to be listened to. Why? Because I thought maybe I was the problem. Maybe I cared too much. Maybe I was boring. Maybe my vibe was just beige. Then one day I was sharing something I was proud of, like proud enough to risk the awkwardness of saying it out loud. And the person I was talking to glanced at their watch and said, "Oh shoot, I forgot to call my cousin." And that was it. Connection lost. Energy gone. And what lingered was this quiet sting of being invisible. But here's what changed everything. I realized being heard isn't about being impressive. It's about being present. And that's where self-improvement really starts. Because learning how to connect deeply with people is the foundation of emotional intelligence, personal development, and honestly, just being a good human. You do not have to perform to be interesting, you just have to be real. There was a time when I rehearsed my stories like a Broadway audition. I'd polish the punchlines, memorize the beats, and monitor my tone like I was hosting a TED Talk. And it worked. Kind of. People laughed, nodded, even clapped sometimes. But afterward, I felt empty. They liked the performance, but they didn't see me. One day mid-story, I did something radical. I shut up. Just for a second, I paused and asked, "Hey, have you ever gone through something like this?" And I swear, it was like I handed that person a golden ticket to speak. Their eyes lit up. They leaned in like we were about to uncover a mystery. And they said, "Actually, yeah, last year." Boom. Connection. Like real human stuff, not the usual cool story nod. And you know what? That tiny little moment, it changed the game. Suddenly, conversations felt less like a TED Talk and more like, well, two people actually talking. I realized I didn't need to impress anyone. I just needed to make space for them. So now, instead of trying to land the perfect story like I'm auditioning for a Netflix special, I just drop in little questions along the way. Stuff like, what would you have done? Or, is that totally wild? Or am I just weird? These aren't filler. They're like secret passageways into someone else's world. And trust me, people love being invited in. Even introverts, especially introverts. We just gotta make the invite feel less like a spotlight and more like a cozy campfire. Correcting someone might make you right, but it won't make you close. For the longest time, I thought being helpful meant being the resident, actually, machine. You know the type. Someone says, "I think it was Einstein who said that." And boom, I jump in like, "Actually, it was Feynman." I thought I was adding value, dropping knowledge, enlightening the masses. But plot twist, I wasn't building trust. I was quietly draining the room of joy. Turns out, correcting people doesn't make you look smart. It makes you look like a walking Wikipedia page with bad timing. Correcting someone might make you right, but it definitely won't make you close. There was this time at work, someone was telling a funny story, and they quoted a stat that was, let's just say, wildly creative. I swooped in with the real number, thinking I was being helpful. Spoiler, I was not. Their whole energy changed. The room got quiet. Suddenly, it wasn't about their moment. It was about me making a point no one asked for. That's when it hit me. People don't always need a correction. Sometimes they just need to be heard. Now, instead of correcting, I stay curious. I might say, that's interesting. Or, oh, I've never heard it put that way. Not sarcastic, just open. And guess what? That tiny shift creates space for conversation, for trust, and for those little moments where real connection can happen. This shift is subtle, but huge. Because at the end of the day, people rarely remember the exact words you said. They remember how you made them feel. And when they feel safe with you, real personal growth happens for both of you. And honestly, real self-improvement starts right there, in those tiny moments where you choose connection over correction. Real listening means noticing what's not being said, not just what a friend once told me, "Man, this week has been brutal." And I, in all my distracted wisdom, replied, "Yeah, me too." Classic deflection. They nodded and we moved on. Later, I realized I missed a chance to connect. That sentence wasn't information, it was an invitation, a moment for care. Now, when someone says something heavy, I slow down. I match their tone and ask, "That sounds rough. What happened?" That one sentence can completely shift the energy. You don't need perfect advice. You don't need to fix their life. You just need presence. Because when you reflect someone's feeling instead of their exact words, they feel seen. And that's a powerful moment of emotional intelligence and human connection. These are the small habits that feed into a deeper self-development journey. You learn how to be with people, not just talk to them. It's not about being interesting, it's about being interested. We live in a world that celebrates "look at me," culture, social media, status updates, self-promotion. But real connection? It's not about shining the spotlight on yourself, it's about passing the mic. And let's be honest, most of us are exhausted by constant performance. We crave authenticity. We want friends who ask how we really are and then stay for the answer. That's where your personal growth shines. Not in how much you talk, but in how deeply you listen. That's the secret sauce to building better relationships, understanding Stoicism, philosophy, and even mastering how to be productive in a meaningful way. Because when people feel heard, they open up. And when they open up, real conversations happen. And when that happens, well, you're not just improving yourself, you're becoming someone who helps others grow too. Bringing it all together. Self-improvement is really about human connection. So let's do a quick recap, but make it human, not robotic. Stop performing, start inviting, let go of the pressure to be dazzling, and focus on being there. Ask people about their experiences. Be curious, not corrective. And for the love of all that is emotionally intelligent, listen with your whole heart, not just your ears. These small mindset shifts aren't just about conversation skills. They're about building a better version of yourself, a version that prioritizes presence over perfection, that practices humility, not just hustle, that values connection more than being right. It's funny how something as basic as conversation can become a full-blown lesson in personal development. But it is, because how you communicate shapes how you connect, and how you connect shapes your entire self-growth journey. From time management to minimalist living, from productivity hacks to brain health, none of it matters if you can't show up for the people you love, or for yourself. Let this be your invitation to be less polished and way more present. We spend so much of our lives trying to sound impressive, to say the right thing, to hit the right note, to be interesting enough, witty enough, wise enough, to earn a smile, a nod, a wow. That's deep. But let me tell you something that took me way too long to learn. People don't connect with the most polished version of you. They connect with the most present one. So, next time you're in a conversation, whether it's with your partner over coffee, your coworker on Zoom, or the cashier at the grocery store, don't stress about sounding smart or having the perfect story. Instead, ask yourself, am I being real right now? Am I open? Am I actually here? Because presence, true, grounded, slightly messy, beautifully human presence, has a magic that polish never will. It tells the other person, you matter enough for me to show up, unfiltered and honest. And that, my friend, is a gift. You're gonna mess up. We all do. You'll overshare, you'll interrupt, you'll say weird stuff mid-sentence, and then wonder what your brain was even trying to do. But that's okay. Because when you're real, you're relatable. And when you're present, you're remembered. And that's what real self-improvement looks like. Not just better routines or productivity hacks or time management tricks, though those matter too. But better connection, better awareness, better being. So let this be your permission slip, your gentle reminder to drop the script and just be. Because when you do, people don't just hear you, they feel you. And honestly, that's where the real growth starts. Join me next time on BetterMe, where self-improvement is serious, but we don't have to be.